Whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go. Get your weekly episode delivered straight to your smartphone or tablet with the Rawrcast app. Available now for iPhone, Android, and iPad. What does the app include? I'm glad you asked. You'll find weekly wallpaper downloads, complete show notes and links, and high-quality audio, all for the bargain basement price of $1.99. Just visit www.rawrcast.com/app for all the links and details.
Funding for Rawrcast.com is also provided by the Screen Print Department. You can bring your team together with the power of uniformity. T-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies. It works for our team. We've got Guild shirts, and they're awesome. The Screen Print Department has a wide variety of shirts, styles, and lots of different ways that you can convey the quality that your brand deserves. Use the Screen Print Department for all of your promotional needs, just like we do. We've used Jake now for years, and he hooks us up with everything that we need. Jake will do you right as well. For more information, visit screenprintdepartment.com. Screenprintdepartment.com. Click on the link in today's show notes. We're also going to be putting our shirts back on sale later this month, so make sure to snag yours while they're available. Nice, high-quality shirts, and if you want to have your own shirts printed, visit the screenprintdepartment.com. Ask for Jake.
This show will very likely contain mature content and blatant spoilers. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Rawrcast Show.
You're listening to the Rawrcast Show with your host, Stompolina and Half-Rot. He's a little hardcore, and she's a little hard-ass.
You're listening to the Rawrcast Show.
Hello, everyone. It's Sunday, March 31st, and this is episode 194 of the Rawrcast Show. I'm Stompolina.
And I'm half asleep.
Clearly, you're not sleeping very well. You got a lot on your mind.
You know, it's funny. I was up late. Admittedly, I was up late playing last night, but I don't know if that's it, because I stay up late almost every night.
I think it's starting to get hot. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You can't sleep when it's hot.
No.
And it's always hot in Texas.
It's always hot where I'm sleeping, too.
Yes. So hello, Half-Rot.
Hey, everybody.
We, of course, are a couple. We're raiders in World of Warcraft. We chat about WoW and other fun stuff from week to week. If you're listening to us on our podcast feed, we invite you to come out every Sunday around 1 o'clock Central. Thank you to everybody who is hanging out in the chat channel with us this week. We're a little bit late.
Can we just say in the 1 o'clock hour?
Mm-hmm. That's what we usually do.
Because we still managed it today, barely.
Yes. Just visit rawrcast.com and click on live. And thank you again to everyone who's joined us this week on Twitch.
And stuck around.
And stuck around, of course.
We have a good show planned this week. We're going to talk about Hearthstone, of course. The more I read about it, kind of the more I'm into it. So, yeah, we won't dwell, but we do have a couple of quick things to talk about with it. Of course, more updates on 5.3. We do also have some tips for people who are maybe new raiders in 5.2.
Right. I actually overheard you having some interesting discussions this week, and I'm like, that'd be something cool to talk about on the show. So
exactly,
we're going to cover some tips
that maybe will help people gear up a little quicker, get into the swing of things.
Because raiding's fun right now.
But it's really more focused on gear than anything else. Everything else is kind of subjective, macros and classes and all that stuff. And also, we're going to talk about Rawrcast reaching another milestone moment.
It's a little milestone, but it's worth talking about because people are talking about it. So
I don't know what it is.
I know it's going to be exciting for you too, and exciting for everyone who's joined us this week via Twitch. Of course, Twitch is available for iPhone, iPad, and Android, so you can take us with you on Sunday on the go. Join the chat room. This week, you guys can participate in Rawrcast by sticking your mail in our huge sack at rawrcast.com. by connecting with us on our discussion forums, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff in between shows every week. So if you have any questions for the FFA portion of today's broadcast, that's when we turn over the reins to Halfrot and he takes all of your questions. Save those up because that's when it gets fun. It just gets crazy up in here.
And I'm all for getting crazy.
Yeah,
today.
totally.
So,
So what has been going on with you, Mr. Halfrot, this week that's got you so
maybe
tired?
maybe it's all of it that's got me tired. We have a guild membership meeting, our monthly, guild membership meeting tonight.
And it's a doozy. It's our first one since moving.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah, I guess technically it is.
Yep.
So the thing is, we're going to have some pretty tough discussions tonight about rating and the direction of the guild and how far progressed we are versus how far progressed we could be.
Should be.
So, well, if we should be, then we would be. We're where we're supposed to be.
Semantics.
Right now. We could have this philosophical discussion if you want.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we definitely need people to step it up, and if they're not able to or not willing to, then we may need to find other raiders.
Well,
which
and
is
that's the thing
like
is
I
that
said, tough discussion.
we've got applications rolling in, and there's a big pool of available raiders to pick from on Zul'jin now. So,
Well, let's be honest. There are pug groups that are further than we are.
exactly.
So, yeah, we definitely need to step it up if we want to progress. So, anyway, I'm not really looking forward to all that. I know it's going to be an emotional thing when
We've done it
when
before. It has to be done.
when you tell people they're not playing well enough. It's never a fun
You had to tell
discussion
me.
have.
I was very
We had the
accepting.
discussion. Yeah, well, I did have a big, huge couch pillow in front of me just to protect myself from any flying objects.
Right,
so,
no. But you know what? Since then, I've actually spent more time going through combat logs, and I spent some time on max DPS last night and found out that I had a couple of upgrades that I could get right away. And, I got a new trinket last night, so
Yeah. So,
But I'm doing what I can, but other people are doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we did this week was run our usual LFR, our weekly Saturday night LFR.
You mean let's try to keep Stomp awake for more than an hour run?
Yeah, you still have yet to see the second half
No.
of Throne of Thunder because you're asleep. By the
I
end
am
of the
just
first
so
half.
exhausted. I had a trying week too, but aside from me,
I end up cheerleading like the whole time. You can do it, Stump. Come
oh
on.
God, I'm just so tired.
2 more bosses and an hour of trash. You can make it. It doesn't usually work. Yeah, I looked up last night and your eyes were closed and your head was starting to bob. Yeah, I was like, this is not good.
No.
But anyway, the LFR, it was kind of fun. We had a few people that joined us. Some were not in the guild. A couple were from Zul'jin, which was cool. And we had one kind of a little bit of a dangler, I guess, from the first Throne of Thunder we did. And anyway, he asked if he could come with us into the second one because the first one went really well. We
I think you
didn't
just
wipe
called
on
the pug a
anything.
dingleberry.
I did. A
Kinda
bodagget,
gross.
as they say.
A hanger on.
But he was cool. He was really nice. We even actually gave him the Mumble info, and he
That's
hopped
cool.
on Mumble with us and chatted. He was
Yay
a
for
funny,
meeting
funny dude.
strangers that are cool and wow. It happens
Yeah,
still.
it does.
Occasionally.
Yes.
They're not
cool
all
people.
dicks.
They're cool people that play WoW. So anyway, we had fun, got through all that stuff. Of course, I got nothing but gold. So whatever, it supports my gambling habit.
How's gambling going, by the way?
Badly.
I've seen it.
I lost 15,000 gold on a roll this week, which was most of my gold. I don't like make a lot of money in WoW, so
It's always the poor
That one
people that
hurt.
have gambling habits,
Yeah.
right?
usually if you leave it to chance, it's yeah.
Yeah.
If it's truly gambling, you're probably going to end up losing. But anyway, so rating this week has gone pretty well.
We're working on
Well-
Tortos, right?
Yeah,
Turtle,
I
turtle,
don't like
turtle,
saying
turtle,
Tortos
turtle,
because it makes me sound all, hoity-toity. So I just call him Tortoise. And we got 34 attempts this week between Wednesday and Thursday, 34 attempts.
That's a lot.
But we never got past 50%.
But there was good steady progression, right? Everybody was getting the hang of things, or what's going on?
Really. No.
Y'all were whenever I was watching.
By the end of Thursday, it was like people may as well have just been banging their keyboards on their heads.
Yeah.
Like it just got worse and worse and
Which
worse.
this is a good pause point to say that you have been streaming on raid progression nights now.
Sometimes,
right?
Yeah, most nights.
Because I was watching and y'all were looking like y'all were getting better. So maybe I was missing the frustration in officer chat.
Yeah. So on Tortoise, like I mentioned, we haven't really gotten all that far into the fight. We have a few problems. The turtles are a big problem because the more they're spinning around the room, the more people are having to move and get knocked back. And they're just annoying as shit. So, of course, having the DPS to blow turtles up is awesome because then you don't have to deal with them. You can focus on the boss, help with the bats, whatever. The other problem we were having with the bats was that I was basically just getting gibbed. I'd pick them up, I'd stun them, and then as soon as they came out of the stun, they'd all hit me and I'd die. Or at least I'd get low on health and they'd use their vampiric ability on me and I'd die. Which basically just added one global to my death, and that was it. So
you kept dying.
So it's a little frustrating, but then again, it's hard for healers to focus on a tank if they're getting knocked around by turtles, etc., etc.
So the fight is like controlled chaos that has no control.
It is, yeah. Oh, Andy says vampire turtles. I'm resubscribing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's no. The bats are vampiric. The turtles
one of the
just spinny.
Funnier points of the week was the discussion going on in the strat thread on the forums.
Yeah.
But the back and forth about what's going right and what's going wrong. And a biter actually posted a picture of, and he superimposed Super Mario.
Yep.
Doing the turtle punt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over all of our corpses.
Quelly's he's a real good raider. He does really good mage damage, and he's a little frustrated. He and I have talked about it a little bit, and he's a little frustrated that we haven't gotten it.
It happens
because a lot of the higher end guilds see that fight as a break. Like, after Horadon and Council, which were more control fights, this fight is supposed to be a simpler fight, and we're having trouble with it. So anyway, he went to post on the forums about it, and there was at least one damn in every sentence of the post. And so after I read the thread and I saw him online, I had to thank him for his restraint, because I know he's probably more frustrated than that. But yeah, we'll get through it. I think it's just a matter of really, getting after it. I think people are a little tentative because they're getting knocked back and they do have to move from time to time and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll
But don't you think that it's those fights where you have to work to figure it out together that are more rewarding whenever you do finally get it? I've always been the cheerleader of...
I don't really care about more rewarding. I just want dead. So, whatever. The
reward needs to be that it's on farm now.
Yeah, there's 8 other bosses in there that I want to get to.
Yeah.
That
so what else?
Or may not be more rewarding. So, one of the things that we're experiencing in raids, and it's been going on pretty much since Myth started, is like we have this weird syndrome that once a turtle, I'm so fucking focused on turtles. Once a boss dies, it's like the next time we go, we figure they're still weak from the ass kicking they got the week before, that we just, don't even think about them, and we do something stupid and we die. So it's like there's no focus on the bosses that we already have.
Like it's no longer an issue now that I figured it out.
Yeah. And so then we end up wiping on shit that we've already killed.
I could honestly say I could see that that's always been a problem with our group.
Pretty much.
Very much.
And to me, I think when we go to a boss that we've already killed, I'm like, all right, well, now I got your number. And so I'm really going to fuck you up this week. But some people don't think quite the same thing, I guess. And so,
I don't have to worry about it because I have better gear now. Whoa, funny that those mechanics will still kill you.
Yeah.
I remember us going back through Ice Crown after we had it way on farm and dying to that Marrowgar guy. And I'm like, really, guys? Really?
Oh, yeah, because people weren't killing Bone Storm.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, we'll kill him before he ever gets to Bone Storm. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Sure. But yeah, that's definitely something that's on the list of shit that needs to be addressed during the guild meeting.
So what else? That it?
Well, did some playing on the Druid. I'm trying to gear the Druid up, so I have another raid lockout to use. So
Another
I can
tune to raid on.
pug or,
Raid.
Yeah, because I feel like right now, and this is a problem we had this week. We tried to get a group going on Thursday night, or Friday night, rather. So after our regular 25-man raid week was over. So on Friday, we were trying to get a 10-man together. We couldn't quite fill it out, but I didn't really want to pug it. And the reason I didn't want to pug it is because we may be able to fill it out with with guild members later in the week. Well, at the same time, we had other players, and they were frustrated because, Zul'jin, there's tons of people pugging. And they're pugging well into Throne of Thunder. And so, there was a lot of frustration from some of those guys because we didn't pug. And for me, it's like, well, if I pug and I get saved to a bunch of bosses on my main,
I'm not benefiting the guild if I get locked out.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I'm keeping myself from running with guild members later in the week, but I don't know that it's not a benefit to the guild if I'm in a group that progresses
like anything else, you have
so.
to coordinate together. But yeah, I get your point.
So anyway, the short version of the story is I'm trying to gear up the Druid so I can tank on him, and that way I have 2 tanks that are available for whatever. And it's
a lot of halves.
It's a lot of halves. Several holes, which is weird. Anyway, that was odd. So I went and did some LFR on, of course, half tanked, which is my monk. And then I switched to the Druid. We were going to go do a mount run and stuff like that, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I ended up starting a group, and we were planning on doing LFRs. There's one of the folks in the guild that's considering changing their main. And we asked, by the way, which, yeah, again, difficult discussions.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're considering it. They're mulling it over. And so I decided, it's the least I can do to help them gear up if we're asking them to change characters. So anyway, so we got this group together, and we were like, all right, well, let's hop in LFR. And Quelly's like, well, if you already have 7 people, why don't you just get a 10-man going and go do 10-man stuff? Like, man, that's brilliant. So we did. We went and ran Mogashan Vaults. And it's funny because, we went in there and people are like, oh, this is going to be easy. Come on, let's go. Well, the problem is people are playing on alts, so they don't know the classes all that well relative to their mains, and they're undergeared. So, well, not even undergeared, but they're geared more for Mogashan Vaults than something further on. So, yeah, it was a bit of a challenge.
So those are the kinds of groups where you have to explain to guys, hey, did you know that you have an interrupt on that too?
Yeah, it was a challenge. And Elegon is still a pain in my butt. I don't like that fight at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really felt like a fight that should have been in Terrace of the Endless Spring. Like, it feels like Mogashan Vaults and Terrace were bass-ackwards. Like, they should have had Terrace
parts
first.
of them, yeah.
Because the fights are simple. I'm not going to say they're easy, but relatively speaking, they're simple fights. And, yeah. So we had a good time, but I was up till 4. So,
oh, I didn't realize it was 4.
I know. I wasn't going to say anything because you always make that face when I tell you I was up
it's
at 4.
Okay.
Up till 4, but
I've actually gotten a lot of sleep the last few days, so I haven't minded.
I hate you so bad. Well, shit, you were sleeping during LFR.
Exactly.
So anyway, but that's basically been my week. We've spent quite a bit of time getting ready for this guild membership meeting, and I just want it to be over and done with. And,
yep. Yeah. We've had our guild management guys diving through combat logs and making notes and lots of stuff. So I really hope that it comes across that we've put a lot of time and effort and thinking behind the decisions, what we're going to be talking about. So Anyhow.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, that's funny. Thanks for asking, baby. I've ran Daily Quest a few times this week. We talked a little bit that the participation is dropping significantly the closer we get to unlocking whatever it is that we're unlocking on that island. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with the rep stuff. Like, everybody's exalted already, and I'll go out there to get the key, to do the treasure trove thing. You just smeared makeup.
Did I?
Yeah. And I'll go out there to get the key, and
Cooper.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you can really see it.
Is
now
it
that
bad?
You moved your hair out of the way.
Hold on. Let me go get the tissue. Hold on a second.
So anyway, yeah, I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do out on the Isle. Like, I'll still go out there, and it's cool to kill rares, get your 15 valor, and run around the island, do that. But that gets.
But it doesn't feel like there's any
quick.
purpose to going back once you've gotten exalted. Like, I'm not even exalted yet. I'm honored, but I've already lost fucking interest, man.
Well, yeah, and most of the dailies are the same ones we've been running since the beginning, so that gets a little tedious. Some of the newer ones are pretty cool, but even those, once you've done them a couple of times, it's kind of meh. Oh, look, a Thunder Forge.
Yeah. So we opened the next section of Daily Quest on the Isle this week. There was a new solo scenario, which I'm really digging the way that they're doing the solo scenarios, kind of this event, and you're participating and all this RP aspect to it. You go do it by yourself, and it's kind of cool. And they're definitely putting more of those into the game for sure. There's a lot more coming in 5.3, which we're going to talk about. So,
yeah.
Other than that, guild bank management stuff has always taken a big part of my time, but now it's probably even more so. So, I try to get that managed, do auction house stuff, make money when I can, and the great thing is that this week we actually had the second meeting for our social committee, and we're going to try to tie in a few social events to help to bring in farm mats for the guild bank. So hopefully we can make some money.
Wasn't it the social committee meeting?
Yeah. Well, I can't spell committee.
Oh, right.
So
right.
in the guild message of the day, whenever I reminded people that we were having the meeting, I tried to type it out like 4 times, and I'm like, COMMMMMM titty. That'll work. They'll get the picture.
The old social titty meeting.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been working out the details of putting together this social event that's going to be coming up in May.
Yeah.
So that's been fun, something I've been doing. But we talked a little bit about how we've had to have that conversation of, maybe 25-man rating isn't the right part of the guild that I need to focus my attention to. So yeah, I'm still, I'm viable in 25-man raids. I know that my AoE healing helps, but I still have a lot of work to do. So I'm cool with that. I have been spending a lot of time this week doing some research and stuff. So
good.
Yeah.
Maybe you could help out with the outruns with my druid.
I could if I could stay awake.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what?
Sleepy
Maybe I
healers
should
are
just
bad
level up
healers.
Putricity, my Death Knight.
And tank?
I could do that.
Fuck.
But you know what? It's going to take me a while because I'm leveling her through pet battles.
The really funny part about that is that will not hurt your tanking at all. That will not harm your ability to tank.
So that's actually the next thing I was going to bring up. The last few weeks, one of the things that happened in 5.3, they actually made a mistake and gave too much XP through pet battles for like the first few days. Well, I definitely should have caught that wave because now that they fixed it, getting XP from pet battles is so slow, but it's fun because
it Stomp's like 20 minutes after she starts a battle, she's like, that was an epic battle. I got 20,000 XP. I'm like, in 20 minutes? Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what level is Putricity right now?
She's 80.4.
You are pet battling all the time.
I know. So, yeah. My Death Knight Futuricity has been sitting in pre-Nax gear since BC because I stopped playing her in BC. The last run that I did was Nax when I freaked out. I couldn't do the safety dance thing and it just didn't go well. So she's been sitting in, doing guild potions and all of that. And now that I can get her XP through pet battles, it's something easy to do in between auction house stuff here and there. And
yeah.
So I took all of her buttons off of her UI. So the only buttons she has up are her mount and then her flask, potion alchemy thing, which is what I do. Other than that, there's no buttons on our UI, which is kind of cool. And then I do the pet battles. So it's fun. I'm enjoying it. And actually, I tweeted this week. I'm like, you know what? It's come to this. This is what I enjoy. I want to spend my time in WoW doing, and I'm okay with that.
Okay. Well, whatever keeps you.
It doesn't help
from making me stop.
It doesn't help me raid any better. But it does keep me busy, and I'm happy. So
how big are the two buttons?
They're pretty big.
Oh, they're pretty big. Andy's asking, are they gigantic?
They're big. They're pretty big.
Question.
Yep.
It would be funny if you streamed playing Putricity and there's like one big square on one side and one big square on the other and you in the middle.
I have streamed playing her, but yeah. Pretty simple UI. Therefore, I get to look at her. She's pretty. I don't ever play her.
So yeah.
I hate Death Knights. They suck.
No, they don't suck. You suck.
I suck on a Death Knight, yes.
I feel like, I need to be sort of forthcoming with what I put in chat.
What's that?
Well, somebody said that maybe we should stream you tanking, and I said that she is the most god-awful tank you have ever run with. True facts, and that is true.
Especially in World of Tanks. That was pretty god-awful. We still have to do that.
But that's fun.
But yeah, me playing tank. Hey, you know what? I bear up in LFR and I tank whether or not people ask me to.
Actually, I think you last longer trying to bear tank in Terrace of the Endless Spring than you do on your Death Knight.
I think so. Yeah.
At appropriate levels because you are awful.
The only other thing I was going to bring up this week is kind of through our friend Richard Harlow, who we've mentioned off and on for the last few weeks. He's doing a fundraiser to help to get medication to hopefully restore his eyesight. Very touching story, of course, our friend. I was turned back onto Tom Green because he actually did a contest and got to meet Tom Green. Cool story. So I went and I was checking out what Tom Green is up to nowadays, and it ends up that Tom Green actually just started a podcast, and I think he's on like his 5th episode or so. So I downloaded his podcast today, and I listened to it on my walk, and I must say it's quite entertaining. It's Tom Green of old. So if you liked Tom Green back in the day, whenever he used to do his late night stuff on MTV, various friends, comedians, you'll like his podcast, and I'd recommend it to you. So, you like Tom Green, baby? I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's kind of like
an acquired thing.
Listening to female singers for me. I can take it for a while, but pretty soon it all just sounds like screaming and nagging, so I turn it off.
Yeah. You don't listen to any other podcast anyway, so...
That's not entirely true, but I'm not naming names.
What do you listen to nowadays? Can't get anything out of them.
Nope.
Tom Green Radio is the name of the podcast. It was good.
Quick update though on Richard Harlow, his fundraiser. He's trying to raise the $12,000 for his medication for his eyes, and he's up to about $4,000. So he's about a third of the way there. If you can donate anything really will help. You can check out his fundraiser. Sure. Fundraiser. He's got glow sticks. Fundraiser website. We'll link it in the notes again this week.
Yep. good stuff. So also this week, I did a little bit more legwork on putting together a rating roundtable. So be on the lookout for that. More information in the next few weeks. And still long term, it's taken a while, but we're making updates to have Noxic, the guys from developers from Noxic.com, on the show sometime soon. So watch out for more details. Last week's featured question was, will you play Hearthstone? Hearthstone, of course, was announced last week. It's going to be a new TCG digital app thing, taking the trading card game aspect of the Warcraft universe, putting it in a digital format, more importantly, a mobile app. I'm excited. And the more you look into it, the more excited you're getting, right?
Well, I won't say I'm like gonna stop playing WoW for it or anything like that, but yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. I know, like, a lot of the friends that I have in game have played TCGs in the past, and this might be a way to, be able to play something outside of WoW like it. So,
right.
Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to check it out.
So we posed our featured question to you guys, and you definitely responded this week. Did you want to go through some of these responses?
Yeah, can I go fast?
Yeah, go.
All right, Jose Aposta said, I'll try it, but I'm not sure I'll like it. Chris Rodriguez said, hells yes. Jessica Chaos Stoop said, I'm a lover of card games, so more than likely I'll try it. It looks like a nice, fun break of the game, something I would go to after a long night of raiding to chill out.
Yeah.
I would go to bed, but whatever. If there's an app for my phone, I will, says Derek Riddle. Let's see. Bradley Page said, I will play it on iOS. If it's decent, I'll throw a few bucks down on card packs. So, and then we had some folks on Twitter. Let's see. At Shaman Rongar said, heck yes. Will it become an obsession similar to Warcraft? I don't know, but I hope so. At WoW Profits said, the clown says, hell yes, he'll be playing Hearthstone. Looks awesome. Hoping to get in on the beta too. It's weird that a guy on Twitter talks about himself in the third person.
Well, we have a creepy clown fetish thing going on between the two of us. Don't ask, baby. Don't ask.
Yeah. And then last of all is at Pupapale. Most definitely it's free, but I even plan to spend some money on it up front just to get the ball rolling. So you'll be able to, purchase
right.
card packs to get your deck going and all that stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Just one of the things we're going to cover right now in the news. Are you ready, baby?
Yeah, sure.
Here we go.
News and reviews.
Quick reminder, save your questions for the FFA portion of today's show. That's when we'll turn over to Half, and he'll take your questions at that portion.
And it's okay if you don't
of the
have
show.
them, because I'd be okay with just
going to
taking a
bed
nap after this. So it's cool. What else?
Yeah.
No pressure.
So ways to earn cards.
Yeah, we
in
were just
Hearthstone.
talking about that. Let's talk about that. So there was a blue post. They said, you'll be able to earn cards in a few different ways. So let's talk about that in Hearthstone. So your first set of cards you'll earn as soon as you start playing Hearthstone, and certain game modes and features will award additional cards through gameplay. So practice mode, you can play against the AI opponents, and the different classes will unlock new heroes and basic cards for you. The play mode, by playing traditional head-to-head matches, you have a chance to win card packs that way.
And with head-to-head, that's against real players through Battle.net system.
Right, it's like PvP.
It's just like PvP, only really slow when with cards.
No, real PvP is pretty damn slow.
Whatever.
Arena matches. Anyway, the Forge, you'll be able to build a deck by selecting one card from each of a series of randomized card choices and then play against the other Forge participants. The cards you pick to build your deck are yours to keep. And if you play well enough, you could win even more. You must trade in a certain number of card packs to participate in the Forge.
So the Forge is like an arena
sort
system.
of, yeah. But you'll be able to throw together a deck, play, and keep what you've done, and yeah.
So you get to keep what you win.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Another way you can make cards or earn cards rather is through crafting. So you'll be able to disenchant expert cards in your collection to receive arcane dust and then use your collected dust to craft other cards of your choosing. Basic cards cannot be disenchanted. So obviously they're going to have different levels of
quality.
Yeah, quality of cards.
Let me guess. Legendary and epic and maybe? Could it be?
What?
Perhaps.
Huh?
The different ranks of cards.
Yeah.
They're using all the Warcraft terms. I'm sure they would.
Sure. Why wouldn't they?
Whatever.
Card packs. You can purchase card packs containing 5 random cards using your Battle.net balance or a variety of supported payment methods. One of the cards will always be of rare quality or greater. In some cases, you may find that one or more additional cards has also upgraded to a higher tier of rarity.
Ooh.
So basically, Thunder Forge. Yeah. And the last way is that certain achievements in the game may grant additional cards as well.
So there will be an achievement system built into it too.
So yeah, so there's 6 ways, 6 amazing, interesting, available ways to get your cards.
Cool. Everybody's certainly excited to see more information, and it's looking like they're pretty close to release.
Yep.
No date yet, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right. More about 5.3 this week. It seems like, of course, 5.2 just came out a couple of weeks ago, but they're putting out more content quicker. So they're already releasing more information about 5.3 coming right down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. No 5-mans.
I'm not excited.
No raids.
I want 5-mans. I do. I don't mind saying it. I do.
Well, I don't mind waiting for content that I'm going to use. Like, I'm excited about some of the scenario stuff because the scenarios are definitely very cool.
Giving me
but
fucking
it's
scenarios.
not
You know why they're doing it?
useful.
They're doing it so that you don't have to worry about a competent tank and a competent healer.
Right. Exactly.
Because any group that you're in, if you don't have one of those two,
Doesn't
you're
matter.
screwed. So with these scenarios, you don't need either. Do whatever the hell you want. You'll still kill it. Yay.
AoE everything. AoE craft. Yay.
Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff that's new in 5.3. Here we're just focusing on areas, instances, zones, whatever. Not really zones. So they're adding a new battleground. The new battleground is called Gold Rush. It will be in Throne of a Throne. Sure.
I think you
Valley
need to,
of the Four Winds.
you need to say that in your 49er voice.
My 49er voice.
Yeah. It's a gold rush.
Gold Rush. In the new battleground situated in the Valley of the Four Winds, the Alliance and Horde continue their war for Pandaria's precious resources. While the two factions battle for control over mines, they must also protect their own resources from being stolen and turned against them. Anybody see my teeth?
So it's basically like Arathi Basin, is what it sounds like. It's resource management.
No, it's pick up that shit and put it in the stack and somebody keep an eye on the stack.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like capture the flag.
With resources.
Hoard the flag.
Hoard the flag. Well, we are Horde after all.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But a different kind of horde.
Gimme.
Like, hoarders. Hoarders. All right. And then there's the new arena they're adding. So you get the new battleground, which is lots of crazy PvP types of people. And then the arenas. The new arena is called Shadowpan. Gladiator hopefuls have a new location to test their mettle amidst the Kunlai mountaintops in the training grounds of the powerful Shadow Pan. Ooh.
I'm thinking that this is going to be like the Fight Club stuff that we were doing up in the White Tiger Temple thingy.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be just that area.
Probably.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yep. So players must make use of the looming tiger statues and fenced platforms to gain an advantage that will bring victory and glory. Oh, good. More shit to run around.
Mm-hmm.
Ring around the tigers. All right. They will be adding a new scenario, Battle on the High Seas.
A few new scenarios.
Several. Yeah. So Battle on the High Seas, help your faction fend off enemy forces in the midst of a battle for naval supremacy. Apparently you're protecting somebody's belly button. I don't know. On the high seas.
In the Navy. Do. In the Navy.
You're awful. So, yeah, hooray for more boats in the game. There aren't enough boat battles. We need more boats.
Blood in the Snow.
Yep. This one, yeah. Basically, there's an agent of Zandalar that's infiltrated Dunmorrow and rallied the Frostmane trolls, those pesky buggers. Aren't they only like level 13? Jesus.
You think we'd have them taken care of by now?
Maybe they've been hiding all the good ones. Anyway, at Variant's request, Moira, do you know who Moira is?
The name sounds familiar.
Right. Moira will lead her personal guard against them once the King's champions have stopped the magical storm protecting Shimmer Ridge. Moira is, I believe it's Moira Thosarian. She was the daughter of Magnar Bronzebeard, and they had the falling out. She went to Blackrock Depths and married the Dark Iron dude, and now she's the Emperor, whatever, of
Sorry,
the Dark Iron.
Are you still talking?
I was, yeah. See, if I had a Scottish accent, I think you'd be more interested in
I'd be totally into it.
Let's see. Dark Heart of Pandaria is another new scenario they're adding. Goblin engineers have been excavating in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms to find a mysterious artifact.
Ooh. I guess they leveled archaeology.
Is it a bony rabbit? What's it going to do? Nibble my bum. But all they've found is trouble. It is a bunny rabbit. All they found is trouble. You have been personally called upon by the war chief to aid them in their hour of need.
Dark Heart of Pandaria.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds scary. And then the last new scenario that they're talking about is Secrets of Ember Deep. Infiltrate. God, words are hard today. Infiltrate the Ember Deep caverns and assist the Gob Squad in investigating a recent disappearance in Durotar. Do you remember the Gob Squad? You ran with them a little bit back in Cataclysm.
Did I? Were they blowing stuff up?
They're like a bunch of goblins. And
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole time you hear the dun 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 dun. Dun. Yeah.
So lots of new scenarios and PvP stuff coming in 5.3.
And the only real interesting news about the scenarios?
Yeah.
Heroic scenarios.
So what?
I know.
What does that mean?
I'll give you a minute to marinate.
What?
Yeah. Basically, they are adding heroic difficulty for scenarios. They're designed to provide challenging content for small groups of well-seasoned adventurers.
That don't need tanks or healers.
Lots of salt and pepper, maybe a little cumin.
Well-seasoned, yes,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I try not to make it too obvious, otherwise...
Thanks, baby.
Completing a heroic scenario awards valor points. Actually, quite a few on the PTR right now, like a lot. And you also have a chance to obtain Raid Finder quality items.
So heroic scenarios come in 5.3.
Yeah. So all that means is you have to do more DPS. You still don't need a tank or a healer.
Mm-hmm. AoE craft. I AoE now, okay?
So how do you feel about this? I know you do scenarios pretty often. Is that because you're not really into healing heroics, or do you just prefer like going and doing scenarios?
That's a good question. The reason I like doing heroics is because I don't have to heal.
You mean scenarios?
And I don't have to be good at DPS. Scenarios. What'd I say?
You said heroics.
Yeah. No, the reason I like running scenarios is because I don't have to heal and I don't have to be good at DPS.
And even if you fall asleep at your desk,
it's okay.
The group can finish without you.
That's right.
That's awesome.
As much as you joke, I have liked the interactive parts of scenarios.
Yeah.
The zip lines on the one that you zip over to the ship,
cool,
and
cool parts of those.
There's lots of cool parts to scenarios that they haven't. I guess they have at times put into heroics and 5-mans in the past, but I don't know. Scenarios just seem so fucking low pressure. There's no pressure at all. You don't really have to be good.
Right. Well, I can see why they do them. I just wish they wouldn't. Like I prefer heroics. We've gone to the point where, you know, the only way you're going to find a decent tank is if they're raiding. There are no, you know, decent tanks that aren't raiding anymore.
Scenarios are just another example of how they're perpetuating bad play, honestly.
Well, not necessarily.
And to some degree.
Good players can get through that stuff super easy.
Oh yeah,
but
super easy.
It definitely makes it easier to pick up and go. You know, you don't have to know everything about your class to roll in there. And
not having a tank, especially, I mean, having somebody that's dedicated to the role of keeping it off of everybody else's face.
Yeah.
If DPS are sitting there and they're okay with tanking because they're not hitting bad, well, what happens whenever you're in a raid or LFR or something else? You're gonna think that it's okay to tank with your face?
Well,
it's just scenarios. I feel like they're perpetuating bad play to me, but who am I to complain? I get my valor and I get the fuck out.
Raid Finder perpetuates bad play.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
Okay, here's a mechanic, but you don't really need to worry about it as long as somebody else worries about it. But, oh, by the way, they're not going to worry about it, so it's still going to kill you. Then you can bitch and moan about how easy this fight is, even though you're not paying attention to mechanics because you expect somebody else to, and you still wipe. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Who's Zachary?
Oh, gosh. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Also so coming in 5.3. Wait, were you going to talk about something else?
No.
Go ahead.
No. You talk about
It's your show too, baby. What?
Well, no, I was just going to say it's cool that they're adding new stuff. I just wish it wasn't just new scenarios.
Yeah.
And battlegrounds, which really are things I'm not all that into. So
for shizzle.
I will run the heroic scenarios, though, for the epic loot, little better challenge, and a pretty good amount of valor, too, from them. At least if they don't nerf it. So. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Also coming in 5.3, PvP gear changes. So as we kind of rolled through these changes, the highlights of what they're planning in 5.3, you actually were struck with a thought. Your thought was, well, wait a second. Didn't I come up with that?
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one who ever
right.
Up with that,
so why don't you go through a little bit about how PvP gear and resilience and power and all that stuff's going to be changing so far, what they have planned for 5.3.
Right. So, PvP gear always, the PvP thing has always been a thing because of the difference between PvPers and PvEers.
And it sticks in your craw because...
Well, sort of. So, the way it was beginning, we'll start with some history. Because history is always fun. Yeah. Back when I was a young whippersnapper,
I used to have to wait in queue for AV for 45 minutes.
You didn't queue. You had to run your happy ass out there.
That's right.
Yeah. Somebody was saying they made a ton of money as a warlock just hanging out by the entrance to Warsong Gulch. So anyway, but the way that it worked in the beginning, there was no resilience, there was no PvP power or anything like that. So the one thing that PvP items had that most items didn't have was a lot of stamina. So if you rolled up on somebody and they had like tank stamina, they PvP'd, and it was going to be a bitch to kill them because they just had a bunch of health to burn through. Well, the problem was you could go into high-end raiding and get items that were far more powerful, and then go into PvP and just wreck people that were PvPing
I used to love it
explicitly.
I did it all the time.
Exactly. So the problem with that, obviously, is that the people who PvP full-time felt like they were getting dumped on by the people that PvE'd, and then be able to just go raid, get their loot, come into PvP, and just wreck stuff. I understand that. I get it. Nobody likes feeling like they're getting dumped on for something they do full-time. Not so much.
Okay.
So that's how it used to be. Then they added the idea of resilience. Well, resilience is great because basically it decreases the amount of damage you take from dots and crits, crit chance, all that stuff was worked into it. Well, now they've made more changes because they still would end up with a lot of items from PvE that were very good crossover items to PvP. So a lot of players still felt like they had to raid to be able to get the best in slot sort of stuff. Well, through a bunch of ideas that Blizzard had, they decided to introduce not just PvP resilience, which kept you from taking a lot of damage, but to give you PvP power, which increases the amount of damage that you deal to player characters. Okay.
To elaborate on that, they right then they started adding in a distinction of what is definitely for PvP and what is, for PvE.
Well, the good part of the changes they made is they have stat weights on PvP items that are still relevant for raiding.
Right.
So if somebody wants to go from high-end PvP and they want to step into raids, they're not at as big a disadvantage as they would have been in like Cataclysm or Wrath.
Right.
Okay. So the problem is going the other direction. If you're coming from PvP or PvE rather raiding, and you're rolling into PvP, there's a pretty steep curve between the people that have really good PvP gear and the people who do not.
Right.
Okay. So that horrible history lesson aside, what they've decided to do is now remove PvP resilience from items. This is what kept you from taking a lot of damage, as a PvPer. So they're removing PvP resilience, but then they're giving everybody the same base resilience, 65%. So just as a quick example, if I hit you and it normally would have been 100,000 damage if you were an NPC, it will now hit you for 35,000 damage because you're a player, right? Now, the only thing that will change that, they're still going to have PvP resilience gems, so you'll be able to gem out with more resilience, and they still will have PvP power. Now, PvP power, of course, makes you hit harder. Well, there's more power on the higher end items. So even though they're making these changes, I don't get why they think it's going to make it easier for players to jump in. I just don't get it.
Because you're automatically going to have the same resilience at least as everybody else, right? Whether or not you have PvP gear.
Well, you'll have the same base stats, but if you're coming from PvP or from raiding to PvP, other players that already PvP are going to have PvP power, which negates the resilience you have. So who cares?
On top of that, they're probably already better PvPers.
Yeah.
But that's the other good point that we were talking about too, is
let me go through this list,
Okay.
through this list of changes, and we'll talk about it a little more. So, as I said, base resilience will be set to 65% for all characters level 85 and higher. So if you're below 85, yeah, your resilience stuff is not going to change. Resilience will be removed from nearly all PvP gear. Nearly all. Players will still be able to use resilience gems and enchants. PvP power will remain exclusively on PvP gear. You won't receive it on any of the raid gear. World bosses, I guess, might have it. PvP set bonuses that currently provide resilience will now provide PvP power, thereby making you even more powerful versus raiders.
Right.
Healers, yeah. Healers and hybrid casters will benefit to a greater degree from PvP power, and battle fatigue will increase to make PvP gear superior for healers. So, basically, if you're healing in PvP, you want to have PvP gear on. Absolutely, it'll make it easier for you to keep up. They're going to be increasing the conquest gear item level to 496. It's up 3 item levels. So again, it'll make it easier to go from PvP to PvE, although 496 isn't great. Elite gear, they are decreasing the item level to 496, and it will essentially become a prestige upgrade. So it'll look better or different, whatever. Now, the big change that they're announcing too is that they will be adding an item level ceiling to gear in unrated battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, and arenas. All gear will have its item level scaled down to 496. This includes even conquest items that exceed the eye level ceiling, such as weapons.
Explain exactly what that means. They're downgrading everybody's gear?
Yeah. Well, if you're going into an unrated battleground, a rated battleground, or an arena, they will cap your item level. So if you have higher item level from raids or whatever.
So like the scaling that they do in challenge modes, now they're going to start applying it to PvP.
Yes.
That's interesting.
What I don't understand is why they don't just make it even.
What do you mean?
Well, if you join
Everybody's
up with
naked.
the army, no. Well, maybe. But no, when you join the army, you don't go in with, shit that you've like picked up over the course of your life. They give you stuff and they say, all right, go ahead. And then when you leave, they take your stuff back. Well,
I like
mostly.
that idea.
So why don't they do that? I mean, if you're a good PvPer, it doesn't matter if you're in the same shit that somebody else is.
Right.
You're probably going to beat them. So then why
make it
do
about
you make
skill, not gear?
Yeah, I mean, why not make it all prestige items? Everybody knows when somebody with a fucking 3K rating rolls up, you can tell by their gear that's a bad mammy jammy.
Right.
So why do they need to be able to one-shot you and move on to the next person? It just makes it that much harder to compete against them if you're trying to, to get into it. So I don't understand why they're making all these, we're going to make this change and this change and this change. Well, the reasoning for it, they're saying we're taking these steps because we want to improve PvP for those players who love to PvP by providing a richer pool of potential competitors, which can result in faster queues and open doors to queuing refinements later on, and make an incredibly fun element of World of Warcraft more accessible to a larger audience.
Blah, 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 blah.
Look, you give me equal gear, let me go into PvP, and at least I'll be able to entertain higher-end PvPers. I won't be able to kill them. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to kick my ass. But why make it so difficult? Why not just make it an even playing field for people, and then the guys that are getting all the HKs and the guys that are getting all the rated battleground stuff,
get the badass looking stuff.
Give them the badass looking stuff.
Yeah.
Why make it so hard for people to join up and put them in an automatic disadvantage to compete? The play should dictate how well you do.
Amen, brother
gear.
Halfrot. Amen.
So, anyway, that's my take. And take it with a grain of salt because I don't like PvP.
No, you don't.
Actually, a lot of it is because of the reasons I just stated. I hate going into PvP because I don't do it all the time. So when I go in, there's always players
automatically
that
at
have
a
better
disadvantage.
gear.
Yeah.
I just get face rolled. So.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think I've done a lot more PvP than you have over the years.
Yeah,
Pretty sure I have.
Oh yeah. I PvP'd for a little bit on the Druid back in Burning Crusade just because the PvP gear was freaking awesome. I wasn't raiding, and you could raid with a lot of the PvP stuff. Shit, I think some of the best in-slot items for raiding was PvP stuff. So, anyway, they have a few other changes. They're taking out the seasonal requirements of 7,250 conquest for weapons. For elite items, you'll still have to meet the requirement for those. And once you reach the 27,000 conquest point seasonal currency requirement, then you'll be able to buy tyrannical gladiators gear with honor points. I don't understand why that makes sense, but
Yeah. I get so confused by all the different tiers of stuff to
PvP
keep up
stuff.
with. Yeah.
anyway, so that's it. I'd be interested to hear what other people have to say about the PvP changes. I know we have listeners that PvP a lot more than I do, and so of course their take is going to be different, but I'd be interested in hearing what other folks have to say on the matter.
You know what I'm excited about in 5.3?
Pet battles.
There's new battle pets and achievements coming in 5.3 for the pet battle system. They're adding in 10 more pets that can be picked up from drops in Karazhan, Serpent Shrine Cavern, and Tempest Keep. And now they're adding in some achievements that are going to actually note and reward people that are winning pet battles. That's one of the things that's always kind of perturbed me so far, is that it doesn't keep track of your wins and losses.
Is winning really the right word?
Shut up.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you say that, but you know you're going to be running me out to these instances to go bet these new pets. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
fun stuff. So this week, I overheard a conversation you were having with one of our raiders about tips on catching up. If somebody is new to raiding right now in this time in 5.2 in World of Warcraft, what are some tips? Where would you direct them on how to get into raiding, baby?
Wait, weren't we going to talk about battle pets?
We did.
What's new? Where to get them?
No, we
No?
did. I did. Were you listening to me at all?
Huh? Yeah. I was reading chat. Andy Pants said PvE and PvP in the same game isn't a you got chocolate in my peanut butter situation. It's a you got dog poop in my pile of vomit situation.
Either way.
So yeah, kind of feel like that sometimes.
Back on topic, baby.
Yeah, back on topic. So anyway, yeah,
Tips.
tips for players with tunes that are just getting into raiding now. If you're maybe gearing an alt or you're just getting back to the
into
game.
WoW, like some people.
So here's my suggestion, and this really is kind of focused on people that don't have tons of time, like to go farm all the old reps, Dominance Hold or Dominance Point, Lion's Landing, all that crap, and all the other stuff in the game. This really is kind
Streamlined.
kind of a fast track to item level, sort of. So my first suggestion is do the Isle of Thunder dailies. Now, I know what everybody's going to say. The rep out there is
Dailies.
dumb. I don't want it. It's a huge waste of time. But here's what you get. For one thing, you get a great ring at neutral with the Shadow Pan Assault.
Great ring. Yes.
Great ring. Now, you will need Valor for it, so you got to make sure you have the Valor points you need for it.
And rep goes fast.
Well, with Shadow Pan Assault, it's a little slow.
I'm championing them.
And no, you're championing Sunreaver
Whatever.
Assault.
I thought I was
Sunreaver
adding to the
onslaught.
conversation. Clearly, I'm not.
Right. So just back away slowly.
Okay. Yes.
So anyway, the rep with them, the Shadow Pan Assault, is a little difficult to get. You'll be able to get $29.99 of neutral, but then you'll have to go into Throne of Thunder and kill something. Let's see. Oh, as you're doing your Thunder dailies, your Isle of Thunder dailies, you also have a chance at getting rep tokens and also a chance at getting Raid Finder loot. You can find purples in your chests and in your supplies and all that stuff. So do your dailies out there. The next thing I suggest is kill the rares and loot the chests you see on the aisle. The treasure troves, those chests are spread out around the area, and they're pretty inconspicuous. Sometimes you'll run right by one and you may not see it.
They don't sparkle.
They don't sparkle. They definitely don't. And I think once you loot one, that's it for the week. I don't think you can see them anymore even.
Right.
I've been in a group where somebody ran over to a spot and looked like they were looting a chest, and I had no idea what they were doing. And they were looting a chest that I couldn't see because I already had looted one for the week. But in that chest, you may find a key to the treasure trove of the
just
Thunder
the
King.
solo scenario where you go loot all the stuff.
Yep. And other stuff you could get, like I said, rep tokens. There's a lot of different stuff you could be getting from those. So definitely go out to the aisle and go do that. You also will get the keys from the rares. I think you can only get one key from the rares. And, there's been some speculation about if you get a key from a rare first, if you get a key from a chest first, you won't get a key from a rare after that. But if you do it the other way around, you may get two. I don't know. I haven't gotten more than one a week yet. So whatever. But the reason those keys are important, when you get in the scenario, as you're looting the chests, you have a chance to win Elder tokens.
Lots of them.
Yes. You also have a chance to win, as I said before, Raid Finder gear. I found a 502 item level belt while I was in there my first time. So we also can get rep tokens, tattered, what do they call them? Tattered parchments that you can turn in for rep with Sunreaver Onslaught. And Sunreaver Onslaught actually has kind of discounted gear that you can get with them, like a 496 cloak, a 496 belt, something like that. And because the rep is so easy, you can get those items fairly quickly. And I think 900 and some valor for some of that stuff. So it's a little better than,
That's the other upgrade I got this week.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And because the rep is so easy, you're doing it while you're out there anyway. So why not? Now, Elder Charms of Good Fortune. Let's talk about those for a second. So there's a cap of 20 Elder Charms of Good Fortune. You can't buy them anymore with your lesser charms. You only can purchase now the Mogu pieces for Throne of Thunder.
Right.
Right? Or the new bosses, the new world bosses. So the thing about the Elder Charms is if you go into an LFR and you run the LFR, this would be the 5.0, 5.1 content stuff. So like Terrace of the Endless Spring, Heart of Fear, or Mogushan Vaults. When you run those, you get a chance at loot the first time you kill it. And then you can roll. You can use one of the Elder Charms to roll for loot as kind of an extra chance.
Your bonus roll.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, if you don't win, you actually can go back and run it again and still use your extra rolls. Bonus
roll, right.
So if your Elder Charms of Good Fortune cap at 20, and I've gotten 15 in a run before in the treasure trove room, then, say for example, your item level isn't high enough to get into Heart of Fear or Terrace of the Endless Spring, you can run Mogushan Vaults over and over and over and pick up 476 item level stuff from there.
And just use your charms
just keep
for the
using
bonus
your
rolls over and over.
And you'll still be getting Valor every time you finish it and all that. So it's a way to, continue raiding, if LFR really can be called raiding. But for you to get a chance at higher item level stuff than if you're going and running other things.
Right.
Right? So that's it. Now, a little tip to people, because really all I have to offer is a little tip, that was a penis joke. Did you miss it?
I got it.
All right.
It was a little one, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't very funny. The thing about the charms is if you cap your charms, sometimes you will get charms in your chest from the Sunreaver quests when you finish the Sunreaver bounty stuff. There may be charms in those chests. Don't open them. Keep them in your inventory. So even though you're capped at 20, you may have 2 in one chest, 3 in another. I actually ended up in that situation this week. So I actually had 25 Elder Charms on me. So then as I was spending them in LFR, I just opened the chests and recapped.
Pretty smart, baby.
So make sure you have room in your bags
Pretty
for the
smart.
Sunreaver Bounty stuff. Anyway, so the next thing that I'll want to suggest is when you hit 470 item level, probably you're better served focusing more on Heart of Fear and Terrace of the Endless Spring, because those two contain tier sets.
Mm-hmm.
They also have higher item level. It's 489, I believe. Yeah, 489 in LFR there, and it's only 476, I think, in Mogushan Vaults. So if you're really just focusing on item level, which isn't a bad way to gear an alt, work on those two instances until you hit the 480 and can go into Throne of Thunder. Last two things. Hop into world boss groups when you can. Go kill Undasta. Go kill Shaw if you need to. Shaw has a chance at the 496 tier tokens and PvP stuff if you give a shit about that. Then Galleon. Galleon's got kind of offset pieces that are really good. 496 item level there. And if anybody ever opens the last part of Throne of Thunder, Nalak is another world boss that can give you something.
Oh, that's what's in there?
Yeah, Nalak.
It just looks like a little locked symbol on my map. That's all I've ever seen.
There's a dragon back there going, God, are they ever going to
get here? Gonna get in here, man.
Lord, I need to kill something. Anyway, the very last thing is farm rep. I put that last on the list because that really probably is the last thing you're going to want to do. But,
yes.
Farming other reps will give you access, obviously, to more stuff with your Valor points that you're earning from the dailies that you're running in Isle of Thunder and from all the LFRs that you're spending time in.
All good tips, yes, and it's very timely that this comes up because, like I said, we have had a lot of people that have come back to the game, back to the guild that aren't, at a place where they can contribute just yet. So they're trying to amp things up and catch up as best they can so everybody can use some good tips. So we appreciate that, Half. Thanks. Half.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get to the FFA. Here we go.
I'm tired of picking up this linen cloth. Ooh, yeah.
We'll put it on FFA, man. It's a free-for-all. Post your questions now in the chat channel. It's time for the free-for-all. You have any questions, baby? Looks like Andy Pants just threw up in the chat room.
Chat wall of text crit you for 9 million.
He's very excited that he caught the live show.
It's a good thing they just upped my PvP resilience so I could rebuff some of that crit damage. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this. I don't know what the end looks like because I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
So we'll all get there together. It'll be exciting. So Geek Culture Andy from Geek Culture Happy Hour.
Geek Culture Happy Hour. Our friend Andy Pants,
not
yes.
listening yet. Blizzard has proven that they can get PvP right, like in StarCraft. Blizz has also proven that they can't figure out PvP at all, like in WoW. They've been screwing it up for 6 years. Remember people grinding for days and days, sharing accounts to get High Warlord? Here's my proposal. Release a WoW PvP only game that's free to anyone who wants it. That game functions like StarCraft, where it's just a map and matchmaking system. Then you take PvP completely out of all the regular WoW servers. Would this work?
Isn't that what Dota's going to be? Isn't the Dota just going to be straight up PvP?
No, it's completely different game, really.
Yeah. I think that they definitely carved a niche with StarCraft, especially when it comes to the esports, which have definitely taken off. Mm-hmm. And they tried to apply that to the Warcraft universe as best they could. And while it started out as Battlegrounds back in the day, the whole High Warlord system, all of that, It was basically just a time sink. That's all it was. That's all the PvP system was.
Right.
And whenever they figured out that, oh, wait, people really don't want to spend 18 hours a day running Battlegrounds, they definitely have kind of tried to adapt, change with the times, with what people are interested in doing. I think, personally, and this is just my opinion, they lost PvPers to StarCraft too. Like the hardcore guys that were into the PvP aspect of StarCraft that they played for so long, whenever StarCraft 2 came out, they lost them. So they'll keep what?
Nothing.
They'll keep changing Warcraft to, adapt to the type of time and the type of players that are actually playing PvP, but for right now, that's not me. So I don't really care.
So,
Next question.
So wait. So the question was, would this work? So give me a one-word answer, yes or no.
No.
No?
No, because people come and people go.
It will work, but on a very limited scale, and I'll tell you why. They do the paid thing where you go and do the tournament thing, and that works. People pay to go do that. Because
they dedicate time to that arena thing, yeah.
So it would work. There would be people that participate in it, but they would lose a lot of paying customers, I think, if they removed PvP from World of Warcraft.
I think so.
He does say they've never gotten it right, and it's been drama. It has been drama from the beginning. Balance always is a problem just within PvP. But then when you try and make PvP approachable for everybody, that's when it just gets out of hand. So
I am glad that they eventually ended up separating out the different types of gear, because that was one of the first biggest issues that we ran into was they kept making changes to satisfy the PvP players, but it crapped on all of our stats for a long time.
That's the one thing I definitely will give Blizzard credit for, is they still are trying. They're devoting a lot of attention to it, which is awesome. The other thing is, I don't mind what they do with PvP as long as it's not mucking up PvE.
Right, exactly.
So, as long as they're focusing on the PvP gear part of it and not nerfing the PvE side because of it, awesome. Whatever they decide is fine, because it's really pretty irrelevant to me because I don't PvP.
You got any other questions for the FFA? Mumble.
I do. Ro is asking, which class will each of you play in Hearthstone? Do you have a specific class lined up?
I haven't looked at the game to the point where I've picked or decided any of that stuff just yet. I watched the opening video, and I watched Chris Metzen, because he's hot, explain why he was excited about it, and it got me excited. So that's as far as I got.
So, class-wise, I know they posted a list of classes.
Maybe
was
we
it
can
on
go
their
over that
Facebook
next week.
page? Yeah, maybe we will. For now, I thought the Warlock looked pretty cool. I did watch the match between the Warlock and was it Gul'dan and Malfurion? They had a match, so the Druid and the Warlock. And I like the Warlock, kind of the gung-ho approach, the get after it, offensive approach. So, I don't know. Who knows? Oh, Haster saying the 9 core classes, no Monk, no Death Knight. So
probably a Druid.
Warrior, Rogue, Druid, Warlock, Hunter, Mage.
I know what the classes are. Thank you, baby.
I don't remember the rest.
Oh, God.
I'd have to.
Any other questions, babe?
Shaman.
Oh, God. Shrimp po' boy.
Boiled shrimp.
Shrimp etouffee.
Did I tell you about the Gold Rush PvP zone? Pretty excited. All right. Haster wants to know, if a mage cast a portal inside a Warlock gateway, what would happen?
I don't know.
That's a pretty easy one.
What is it?
G-kick. Could you imagine how awesome it would be to go click on a warlock port gateway to get from one area to another, and you end up in fucking Stannard. What the? God damn it!
I was thinking more along the lines of some infinite loop of mysteriousness.
Dang, I was clicking this thing to get the gold rush. Anybody know the way to Valley of the Four Winds? Yeah, I'm going to end up milking that more. Let's see. We have another question from Ro. The question is, name a movie that you wish had a sequel that never came to pass.
Bad sequels. Probably Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 wasn't very good.
Blasphemy. Who
Whatever.
are you? I don't even know you. Unbelievable. Fast and Furious.
Bad sequel. Well, that was bad to start with.
Pretty much any of the bad ones you can count on the next one being worse.
Bad Boys 2.
You know which one I thought they could have done without? And I'm sure people are going to be up in arms about this one. I am sorry that they ever came out with a second Rambo movie. I thought First Blood was awesome.
I'm there with you on that.
But it just got horrible after the first one. So
Harold and Kumar didn't need a sequel. They made it to White Castle and they were happy.
Harold and Kumar.
It was bad.
Didn't like that one.
I'm sure there are more. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Yes.
Wow.
2 was the limit. That's a lot of turtles. Turtle.
I'm sure there are others. Big Top Pee-wee, not a fan.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah.
Rocky 85.
Rocky 85. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Rocky movies.
They got ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't know. Once you get in that just kind of turnstile where you have to one up yourself every single time, like,
but it got to where it was the same movie over and over again. It felt like you can't even tell the difference between them all.
Yeah. Well, just look at the kill counts from the Rambo movies. They just went up and up and up and up and up.
Yep.
And, yeah. By the end, it's just a guy walking around stabbing people on the street.
Here's a good one. Alien versus Predator versus Aliens versus other movies that we could just all blend together.
Yeah.
That one got ridiculous too.
I could have done without
Predator was awesome. Predator's an awesome movie.
The first Doom movie.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't really a sequel.
Predator was an awesome movie that got ridiculous. Stop. Yes. Okay. Stop. All right. More FFA. Yes.
Yeah. So, how about this one from Haster? What are you planning to eat for dinner for Easter Sunday?
I don't know. Matters what half buys at the grocery store.
I'm not going. You're going. I'll make it, but I'm not going.
Yeah.
You go.
We avoid going to the grocery store. Yesterday it was Taco Bell. One trip lasted us all day long. I ate Taco Bell all day. It was awesome.
Whatever. I'm starving.
It's kid-free weekend for like the next 4 weekends. So we're probably going to lose weight, play lots of WoW.
Lose weight?
Because we're not eating.
No, we eat like we're in college, which means we're packing on pounds. Anyway.
We don't know. Nothing special. We don't really celebrate typical Easter, if there is such a thing anymore.
Yeah, really the Easter thing, our families are all spread out anyway. We hardly ever get together.
Kids grown. And Easter Bunny things
he's at his dad's
over.
too,
yeah.
So not really much reason to bring
ramen and Ben and Jerry's. That sounds good.
Wait, do you mix them?
No.
Creamy.
All right, any other questions?
How do you like your steak? Ro wants to know.
Mine, medium rare. The rarer, the better. Hey, you got a question on Twitter this week, Half Right?
Oh, God.
Let's stick that in the FFA. I was very excited to see you get this nice little compliment.
Oh, geez.
Read it.
Why am I reading it? You're the one bringing it up.
Just my opinion. This comes from Lizzie Trucker. She's a listener on Twitter. We tweet back and forth. She's kind of cute, by the way. Just my opinion. I think Halfrod has a really good voice. Has he ever done radio? It's smooth like butter. Butter, baby. She likes your voice. Say something sexy for Lizzie.
No.
That wasn't sexy at all.
I said no. No means no. How's that for sexy?
Thank you for the tweet, Lizzie. You're a cutie pie. All right.
Hey, so I have one thing I want to throw in, and I know some people are going to get kind of offended, but it struck me as kind of funny just because it was so random. So we had this guy recently that applied for the guild, and we asked for a raid UI screenshot that says, that shows us what they see while they're raiding. So we know, if we ask for a battle res, are you going to be able to pull it off? Or, if we need a cooldown or whatever, can you manage it? So
you can tell a lot about a raider by their UI.
Their UI,
yes.
yeah. Like how well they manage a situation. So the thing is, this particular guy, and I'm not going to say his name or whatever, but he posted this picture, and it didn't exactly have what we were looking for, so we had to follow up with him. But I was looking in the chat, and some dude named Donald Trump
was a shaman.
Shaman. Donald Trump said, rape is never a laughing matter. I completely agree. Then he goes on to say, unless you're raping a clown. And
of all the things to post for your raid UI.
No, I'm not commenting on the acceptability of raping a clown. You never should rape anybody. Although I get a lot of that in PvP because I'm bad. But it just was so random, just in the middle of this guy's post. I just kind of had to shake my head. It's like when you see pictures of it's like when you see pictures of people and they're taking pictures of their UI of their computer setup or whatever, and you see the KY jelly sitting next, or the big bottle of Vaseline and some Kleenex sitting on their desk. They didn't even think of getting out of the way. So yeah, that's kind of what struck me when I was reading that. So please don't rape clowns. That's not funny.
Oh goodness. Honk, honk, honk.
This is not okay.
Any other questions for the FFA, baby?
Would they use that as like a whistle? They're looking for help and somebody drives up in a tiny car.
He squirted his flour all over me.
That's fucked up, man.
Oh gosh.
I think that's a great place to stop. To just call it a day. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Thank you all for coming out to hang out with us this afternoon. We really appreciate seeing you every week. Oh goodness. That was a good one. Do we have a featured question this week, baby?
I don't know. How do you feel about
How about what would be your clown name?
Your makeup is so jacked.
Oh man. What would be your clown name?
No, that's not acceptable. No.
What do you want to do for a featured question? Makeup is really fucked up now. Thank you very much for making me laugh.
It wasn't me. You're the one who's talking about the honk. I don't know.
Featured question.
Let's think about
5.3.
What are you looking forward to most in 5.3?
It's not really much to pick from.
There's a lot to pick from. I'm really looking forward to Gold Rush. Valley of the Four Winds.
Is that what we're going for?
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to most in 5.3? I mean, we didn't even talk about the mounts that are coming out, the new fairy dragon mount that's pretty cool.
Poorly named.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but yeah, there's. Oh my god, you look.
Is it really bad?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Whew, real bad.
All right. Clearly, we need to wrap up the show. So let us know what you're looking forward to most in 5.3. Hit us up for next week's show. Huge sack at Rawrcast.com. Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. And if you're in the DFW area, you can join us for the next DFW Wow Squad meetup. Visit dfwwowsquad.com. It's April 13th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Bodacious Barbecue. You looking forward to that one, baby?
I don't know. I may be at Gold Rush in Valley of the Four Winds.
Please leave us a review for next week's show. We got quite a few reviews this week. A few on iTunes and a few on Amazon for our app. Would you roll through and give a shout out to these folks, baby?
Yeah. I don't know if this name is Wildcat Finn or Wildcat Effin.
Either way,
which would be weird. But thank you very much for your post, Jamie Hardison. Thanks for your comment. Misery. Let's see. We have Plain Man, Nita L. Stoops, Michael Conniff, and Dice.
Yep.
Those last four posted on the Amazon posts. Yep.
So wherever you pick up the show, please leave us a comment there, whether it be for the app, iTunes, lots of different places. So this week, the show hit a milestone moment. Are you ready for this, baby?
Probably.
So we haven't had sponsors now for a couple of years. We've not had a sponsor.
Free
balling, just kind of going where the funds take us. This month was the first month that our app sales have covered the cost of our hosting. So that means that you guys paid for our hosting this month, which is awesome. So the app, it took us a long time to get the app developed, but putting out new graphics on it every week, and people are digging it and leaving comments. So this is a milestone moment. So thank you guys for trying the app, giving us feedback. We really do appreciate it. Go try it out. Rawrcast.com/app. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff in between shows. That's it, baby.
Good. Go fix your makeup.
We'll see you back here next week.
I love you, but it looks like I beat you.
Honk.
Goodbye.
See you back here for next week's show. Bye, guys.